Hello, my name is Wendy Potomsky and I'm the managing partner and owner of Retake Furniture Rentals. Retake is once again a proud supporter of the Canadian Film Festival and is working to contribute to the Canadian film and TV industry by making it an easy and sustainable place to do business. Retake provides sustainable short and long-term furniture rental options to meet production schedules and product needs. Retake also understands the importance of set design and the dynamic nature of the film and TV industry, which is why we created a company to specifically support Canadian filmmakers. Retake can assist you in setting up your production office with sustainable alternatives to keep your team working safely as we all head back to work. We use sustainable approaches to minimize product going to landfill, which means any product supplied by Retake is helping to support the circular economy. Our in-house upholstery services can tailor our product to meet your set design requirements and match your color schemes. Contact us to discuss your office furniture needs. Our goal is to help you get back to work as safely and efficiently as possible. Stay safe, everyone, and enjoy the films and shorts at this year's Canadian Film Festival.
Celebrate Canadian filmmakers on Super Channel Fuse with an exclusive homegrown event.
I'm ready.
Go.
The Canadian Film Fest, presented by Super Channel, brings this year's festival into your home for a second year as a virtual experience.
Goodbye.
Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night until April 18th. Enjoy the premieres of indie films and shorts from critically acclaimed and up-and-coming Canadian producers and directors.
And this is where the donkey starts talking.
Immerse yourself in this inspiring and spirited event, both on air and online, with live Facebook Q&A sessions that follow the films.
Makes sense.
Start it.
Experience the Canadian Film Fest, proudly presented by Super Channel.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bern Euler. I'm the founder and festival or executive director, I guess, of the Canadian Film Fest. Welcome over here.
Hi, I'm Ashley Rains. I'm festival director and head programmer.
That's right. And we are so excited to be here at Super Channel again. I do want to give a big warm virtual hug to everybody at Super Channel. It's such an amazing organization with an amazing group of people that have gone above and beyond this year, just like they did last year, to make sure that Canadians have a place to show their movies, especially during this whole lockdown, COVID, pandemic, everything. They've been amazing. So thank you very much to everybody at Super Channel. And what a screening today, Ashley.
What a screening. I know we are so fortunate to have all of the filmmakers joining us this year for our programming. We also want to say thank you to our programming team. We want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. And we want to shout out to WICT Toronto. Thank you for co-presenting our program this evening. We love working with you. So Karen, Lori, Patty, and everyone at WIFT, thank you for your continued support of women in film and television. And on that note, I would love to introduce our short film director this evening. Katrine, I'll throw it to you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, thank you.
What Girls Shouldn't Walk Alone at Night. The title in itself is a brilliant statement, and the film is exceptional. It's such a beautiful slice of life, a moment captured in time of two women walking alone home at night. What was your inspiration for the film? Where did this idea come from?
I have many inspiration, but I would say my main inspiration is my own teenagehood. Yeah, my own teenagehood, this period of time when you roam freely in wide open spaces, nothing to do but like everywhere to go. It's the way I experience my teenagehood. So it's also like this period of time when it's also about these times and spaces that become memories when you grow up. And secondly, I would say what does it mean for a teenage girl like to be free, to be outside at night, and how do you feel? And it's what I wanted to talk about. And so I interviewed multiple women about their prom night experience and their parties in general experiences. And so all these stories have been source of inspiration for me for this to write this film.
Wow, and that's actually one thing I wanted to see. One thing I love about filmmaking in general is finding the right people to put on the screen, making sure they have the right chemistry, making sure that they are just perfect for those roles, and then that they work together properly. So, I mean, to me, that's mind-blowing about how hard that must be. So what is the casting process like for you in this movie? How did you find those two amazing actors?
We're just brilliant together.
Yes, yeah, thank you. The main actress, Amaryllis, who played Chantal, it was my third film with her. So I met her when I was at school. I made 2 films with her while I was at school. So for this film is my first professional film, my first film after school. So, so I already know Amaryllis, and I knew that I wanted to work with a friend with Amaryllis, a friend of Amaryllis. So so the 2 actresses knew each other before the project, and it was planned this way. I asked Amaryllis to make a list of actresses she wanted to work with. And it's how I met Naima in casting. So after that, after the casting process, we met a couple of times, the 3 together, to talk about my intentions, to talk about the character's psychology, and yeah, to exchange around like their point of view on the script. And we also visited the location, the shooting location before the shoot, just to get them familiar with the film universe. So I think this work, this prep work we made before the shoot helped me to rewrite some part of the script and to rethink about my the character's psychology to reach something more closer to the actresses, to their own energy, their own dynamic they had together in the real life.
Yeah, and I think that's one of like, to sum up kind of what you said, is one of my favorite things about your movie is that it started very ominous, and I was scared for them, but it seemed like because they were together, they were going to be okay.
Yes.
And to me, it was so endearing for me to watch. It sort of like they sidestepped all the danger because they were together and got over every obstacle because they were together, and it was so sweet for that. I just love the movie. Just loved it. So sweet. Thank you so much for being part of the Canadian Film Fest this year.
Thank you so much for sharing your film with us. We're very proud to screen it with our audiences. We really appreciate it.
Thanks to you.
Okay, well, hang on with us just for a moment, but we're going to be right back, everybody out there. We're going to come back with the cast and crew of Sugar Daddy, so hang tight.
everyone. Welcome back to our Q&A with tonight's feature film filmmakers
Welcome.
from Sugar Daddy. So I'm going to throw it to the filmmakers. Please introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Kelly McCormack. I wrote and produced the film, and I'm in it. Might be in it a little bit, a couple times.
I'm Lauren Grant, and I'm one of the producers of the film.
And I'm Lori Lazinski. I'm also one of the producers.
Well, welcome, and we are honestly honored to open up the festival with such a brilliant movie in so many different ways. You know what? But here's where I want to start, because Kelly and I go back. We go way back, and this is one of my favorite stories to talk about, because Kelly, tell me if I get any little points wrong here, or I'm exaggerating maybe a bit too much, but I remember you telling me that you came to a masterclass of ours in like 2012 or 2013 or something like that, and you took a masterclass on filmmaking, and you're like, I can make a movie. And then the next year, it seemed like you had Play the Film. It was Play the Film, that's right, and won the audience award. And then the next year, you had another movie, and then
Barn Wedding.
Yeah, right. And then, yes, Barn Wedding, which is on Super Channel, actually. And then you are appearing in everything. You're on screen with Ricky Gervais. Then you're on Letterkenny, one of my absolute favorite shows of all time. And you're all over the place. I love this journey.
It's a pretty great origin story, I gotta say. My CFF origin story is legendary. It's pretty much right. Essentially, my first film I produced for $1,000 as part of Ingrid Benninger's 1K Wave, obviously a Canadian indie filmmaking giant in our country. So she had challenged all these filmmakers to do this, and then yeah, I attended Warren P. Sonoda's like how to be a filmmaker, and I came from theater. I had never done it before. I didn't even know how to like use the formatting tools, but I sort of had like an insane idea that I could do it, which is pretty much the subtext of all my career choices. Just like, yeah, I think I could do this. So yeah, and then the next year it was in, and then Barn Wedding, and it's just been such a great journey with you guys, because you are not only a festival that premieres films, but I think is really invested in people's careers and their futures. And Bern had the pleasure of asking me to be on the jury one year. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's just like, it's a different than most festivals. It's more of like a hub, and that's, and it helps that I live like down the street, College Nossington, so I could like stumble home to the Monarch. Like, those are all nice little details.
It also helps that you're a good filmmaker, because imagine if you sucked and all the movies sucked, like we would have no story. So I'm glad it's the actual opposite. But yeah, a great origin story.
Could have been full stop after that $1,000 movie.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly.
But plus, right, and this goes out to everybody. This is what I love about indie filmmakers. They're like let's say, for example, Kelly's first movie. Oh, $1,000? Sure, yeah, I'm gonna make a feature-length movie with that. And nobody's telling you, no, you that's impossible. Or maybe they did. So when you guys, let's say for this movie, for Sugar Daddy, like you didn't have $100 million. This is not, this is Canada. We make do with what, but it looks fantastic. The story itself, I mean, it just takes you away. You need to know what happens in the next minute. How do you deal with that as indie filmmakers with working against low budgets?
And then also Wendy Morgan, the director, this is her first feature film as well.
Crazy.
So
Well, the thing about Wendy though is it's Wendy's first feature film, but she's incredibly experienced for being on set with music videos. So we had like the ultimate trust in her that she could run a set. So which is massively, massively important. And then some of the other things that she wasn't so familiar with, like we just supported her in more, the people around her and some other tools during development. But I mean, it's Wendy's first feature, but she's a seasoned
yeah,
filmmaker.
yeah, you can clearly, her vision is very like distinct, and like cohesive throughout the entire film. Lauren and Laurie, though, you had the script for a while. It's been a journey for you as well to get to this point tonight, and your film is coming out on April 6th. What's that process been like for you? How did you connect with Kelly and get here?
It started, initially it didn't initially came to me. It went to Lauren first, but Lauren had just had her baby and wasn't reading scripts. So another producing friend of mine that I met at the Film Center, this is why the Producers Network is so important. She had read the script and she was like, this isn't for me, but I know a producer that would really like it. And she said, and she asked Kelly, I think, if she could send it to me, and she did. And I immediately read it and I was like, yeah, it's for me. And then I set up a call with Kelly about like what, because I'm based in Vancouver and this is a clearly Toronto film. And it's just like, well, who else did you send it to? And like, how do you want to get it made? And like, what's your thoughts? And she's like, well, I don't know, Lauren, but I've reached out to her and a lot of people have recommended her. I'm like, I might be able to get her to read it. So I immediately sent an email or text or whatever I did to Lauren. And I just said like, I know you're on mat leave, but the script is good and I think you'll enjoy it. And honestly, I think Lauren, you read it that like within a couple days and that was it. It was like October of what, 2016, 17?
Oh, 2015. Because I read it in LA during AFM. So my daughter was like 2 months old. Kelly, you first reached out, I think, a couple days before TIFF. And it was like, the baby was like 4 weeks old. And I was like, yeah, I just am starting to understand the days of the week again. Like I can't read anything. Like if I shower, I'm like winning life.
Yeah.
But then Laurie sent it to me and which was a kind of insane idea. My husband's in film and he wants going to AFM. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I'll have some November sunshine from Toronto and I'll go to LA. And of course you're flying with a 2-month-old, be like, why am I doing this? And Laurie sent it to me and I remember literally sitting in our little Airbnb in Venice or Santa Monica. And I read the script that night when Lennon went to sleep, and I emailed her being like, oh, damn it, it's really good. I don't want to work. And I said yes. And then I talked to Kelly. And it's like that the whole way. Like Wendy, I remember I was thinking about this today, going to Canteen at the TIFF Bell Lightbox with Kelly and my daughter, my baby, who's probably like maybe 5 months by then, and having our lunch with Wendy after Kelly had met her to be like, oh, we might, this might be a good fit. Yeah. It was very, I don't know. It sort of developed pretty naturally, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys do seem like a very tight crew. And I actually thought that you all knew each other before. So I guess Lauren and Laurie, you guys knew each other.
We've known each other a long time. I think we're going on 17 years now.
Oh, hey.
Probably.
Yeah. We've known each other a long time.
My first job at a university was at a film company in Vancouver where Laurie worked. So we became friends. Way back then, but this was our first feature together. We'd made some shorts together and then I moved to Toronto and it's really complicated to do interprovincial co-productions and we hadn't done it. And so this was the one. And actually Kelly's from BC. Wendy spent years in BC. So we're kind of a bunch of transplants to Toronto and then made a very Toronto movie.
And I would also love to talk about the sister aspects of the film because Kelly's sister is in the film and so is Wendy's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did think during casting, I said, wow, Kelly's sister is like really looks like Kelly's sister.
It was strategic. Yeah. I saw her last name and I was like, she sounds perfect.
She was, but I think it was also, that was so much part of like all that. And, Wendy's sister, Michelle Morgan, came out and
from Heartland.
Yeah,
that's like her.
From Heartland.
Oh, hey, Wendy's here.
So sorry.
Welcome.
I turned it on and I was like, cool, okay, I'm gonna have like some coffee.
And just so everybody knows out there watching, Wendy's in Paris. So what time is it in the morning?
It's 5:23, which is a decent hour to be awake, to be honest. But I set my alarm for like 4:15. I was over ambitious, I think. I'm so sorry. I really apologize. I literally just rolled out of bed. I was like, anyway, let's not ruin this. And I'm here.
No.
Sorry, everyone.
No, this is great.
No, this is
We were just talking about having both Hillary and Michelle, the sisters, in the movie.
Mhm.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that. That's very cool.
Mhm.
That's very cool. And then so that is actually one thing I wanted to bring up too. So thanks, Ash, because casting on a budget, but it didn't seem like you were scrimping. I mean, everybody in the movie was absolutely just spot on. So how do you do that and get, you know, and get some big names like Confiore, for example? Like how do you manage that? How do you get somebody interested when you have no money?
Well, I think it's the benefit of producing with actor producers because we seem to have an inside track on the community of actors. I mean, we all come from, like myself and Ganeti O'Horn and Jess Alguero and Mara Ziegler and like Kanija Roberts Abdullah and Ishan Dave and all these actors. Like we all come from the same crew. We all go to the same bars. We all came from theater. We've all been broke. We've all, you know, rooted for each other at different times. So, and most of my films, like the other films I brought to the CFF, are all huge ensemble films. So it's sort of a little bit of just picking up my phone and being like, hey, like, will you come to bat for me? And like, can you maybe come audition for this? Or, you know, direct offers to friends and whatnot. But it's one of the things, like, I think the things I encourage about people producing work with actor writers or actor directors or whatever, because they do have such a connection. And then Colin Fior was a very impassioned, well-worded letter that was sent, because none of us knew, I mean, I knew of him, but I didn't know him personally. And so we constructed a very well-worded, like, this is our mission statement, please say yes. And then he showed up for rehearsals and like blew in like this creative storm. And then Wendy and I sat there and talked to him for 2 hours, and then he left and we were like, and he's just like the most, you know, sparkly and talented and like high energy person that we were like enamored with him. So yeah, I mean, casting, you know, I feel so privileged that so many good friends of mine who I've worked with said yes. And, you know, obviously got paid what you know, little less than they deserve, which is the case for a lot of Canadian actors. But it was a huge honor, and I love all of their faces and watching them in the edit. I'm just like smitten with all of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here and for bringing your marvelous movie to the Canadian Film Fest. It's truly an honor, and I hope to see more from all of you in the future. Definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing Sugar Daddy with us.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having us.
No problem. And to everybody out there, please check out www.canfilmfest.ca. We've got lots more movies, a great industry series, and tons of stuff to do over the next 3 weeks. So until then.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.